I want you all to imagine a scenario that I think could play out in every one of our districts later this afternoon. There's a guy who works second shift at the local plant. Remember, when you work second shift, you miss half your kids' Little League games, you miss some of their after-school activities. But here's a guy who's working hard for his family, goes out to get in his truck to drive to work, and as he's getting in his truck, he looks a couple houses down, and he sees a guy sitting on the front porch, drinking coffee, reading the paper, and the second shift worker knows the front porch sitter can work and won't work and is getting his money. And as he gets in his truck to drive to work, thinking about the guy back on the front porch, he's got the radio on, happens to be the news hour. The reporter comes on and says the federal government's got a $20 trillion debt. They got some crazy program giving money to favorite corporations. This one company went bankrupt, cost the taxpayers millions of dollars. He hears all that, remembers the guy back on the front porch, and guess what? This guy's ticked off. And I would argue he has every right to be mad. Same time he's driving to work, there's a lady driving home from work, teaches second grade at the local school. She, like any good teacher, has busted her tail all day long to help her students. She's driving home from work, happens to have the radio on, happens to be on the same station where she hears the same reporter say the federal government's got a $20 trillion debt, they got some program, gives money to some connected corporation, this company went bankrupt, cost the taxpayers millions. She hears all that as she pulls into her driveway, which just happens to be on the same street, and she sees the same guy sitting on the front porch, drinking his coffee, reading the paper. She knows he can work and won't work and is getting her money. And guess what? She's mad too. And I would argue that second shift workers and second grade teachers are tired of this approach we have to social welfare, which says to some people who are able-bodied adults, some of them who are even able-bodied adults with no kids, you don't have to do something to get taxpayer dollars. So I know over the next hour or so, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the 40 million people who get food stamps, and that's appropriate. We need to. In some cases, it is a very good program helping people just like the ranking member talked about his own family. But I think we also have to remember the 260-some other million folks in this country who are paying for the program. And it's not too much to ask to say, if you're getting a benefit from the government, you should have to do something to receive that. After all, it's hardworking taxpayers' dollars that we're talking about. So I say all that, I hope to set a little context for the next few hours as we talk about this important program and as we move into a debate on the Farm Bill, where we talk about reauthorization of the SNAP program. With that, I'll turn to our witnesses, and we'll start with, we first have, let me introduce our